I, JB Preeti Singh, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, JAYOTI VIDYAPEETH, Pune University. Today, I will discuss about the topic to demonstrate the visual acuity. This topic belongs to the Human Anatomy and Physiology practical for the B.Pharm second semester. Now we come to the theories of visual acuity. Receptor theory. If the image fail on two cones separated by an unilluminated cone, then the points of light would be perceived as two distinct sources. In terms of length of the retinal image, 2 points will be seen clearly when their image size is more than 4.5 micro, diameter of individual cone 1.5 micro. The terms of visual angle, two adjacent points seen clearly and discretely when they produce visual angle more than 1 minute. Visual angle is the angle subtended at nodal point of eye by an object in visual field. Dimension of the visual angle depends on size of the object and distance from the eye. Ray light criterion, 2-point sources are resolved from each other when separated by at least the radius of the array disk. Uses visual function, refractive status, outcomes measure for a treatment, medico-legal purposes, criteria for a person's fitness to drive, eligibility for entrance into a profession. Components of visual acuity: minimum visible resolution, recognition, and minimum discriminable. Minimum visible, ability to detect whether an object is present in an otherwise empty visual field. Resolution, clinically measure of visual acuity, disc emanation of two spatially separated target. Recognition, discrimination of spatial characteristics and identifies the pattern from memory, example identification of faces. Minimal discriminable, spatial distinction by an observer when they hold lower than ordinary activity. Minimum visible. Minimum visible spatial their hold level depends upon specification of stimulus, size, shape, and illumination. A black dot against a white background detected if its diameter is of the order of 30 seconds of arc or more. B. Black square against a white background when length of diagonal is 30 seconds. Visualization of a thin telegraphic wire against a uniform sky with a thickness of 1/2 second of arc. Convergence of subthreshold signal from a number of individual retinal element yields a suprahold level of activity. Detection of an illuminated object against a dark background depends on its intensity, not size. Resolution, ordinary visual acuity. Discrimination of two especially separated target minimum separation between 2 points, which can be discriminated minimal minimal resolvable measurement of the threshold of discrimination is an assessment of function of uh, centralized normal angular threshold of discrimination for resolution 30 to 60 seconds of an arc. Minimum discriminable hyper acuity ability to determine whether or not to parallel and straight line are aligned in the frontal place. Their whole value of vernier acuity 2.10 second of arc. Factor affecting visual acuity, stimulus related and observer related. Luminance of test object, geometric configuration of stimulus, contrast of stimulus, wavelength of stimulus light, exposure duration, interaction effect of two targets, uh, retinal locus stimulation, pupil size, accommodation, effect of eye movement, and modal variation acuity. Optical benefit of eye, developmental aspects. Visual acuity test, uh, detection a test, recognition a test, resolution a test. Detection a test is a DOT visual test and CAT4 drum test and Boeing back actinity bead test and styler test. So the indirection identification test and latter identification test, picture identification test and picture identification on behavioral pattern. So overall the commonly used method for distant visual acuity. So this is the short demonstration of visual acuity. And what is a visual acuity? So this is the complete session. This session is powered by digital version 2.0 JAYOTI VIDYAPEETH Women's University. And hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it your problem by the problem resolving class. Thank you and thank you for the listening.